Hello, this is Grandma Jan from Red Toad Art Studio, and today we are going to do the second in wrapping paper collage. Now last year I did this placemat in wrapping paper that we used at Christmas time. Now isn't that cute? You know, if you saved all your wrapping paper and then all the kids got together and cut pieces of it and pasted it on and made a collage, wouldn't that be cute placemats to use at Christmas time? All right, so this last Christmas, you'll see I have some pictures of it. I saved scads of crumpled used wrapping paper. And one of the rules I made for my collage is I had to use used paper. I couldn't buy rolls of paper or use the rolls that were left over. It had to be crumpled, torn, taped wrapping paper from our presents. Now we had 2 get-togethers for our family, so I gathered paper from both of them, and I have gone ahead and cut out some of the images from that paper. I'll show you some of the pictures here of my cats playing in that bag full of paper. So, let's get going. I have cut out several of the images already. I've even paper clipped them together. There's so many. I have more than this. Yeah, I have a lot more than that. But we will get to them later. I used a piece of paper for my base from Mixed Media 98-pound paper. It is 11 by 14. Now you can use any size you want. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have any more of the size I used last year, and it is a bit bigger. But I don't think the kids will mind if they're different sizes, do you? Or the adults? We won't mind. But, get this back again. In order to make them kind of go together as a set, the first thing I did, I'll show you here. Let's get all this out of the way. Just get a piece of paper. Here's our piece of paper. The first thing I did was go around the edge and draw in a 1/4 inch frame. It's a little dark in here today. It's a winter day outside. And with my lighting, we have to deal with whatever's outside. All right. And then I want to color in this frame black, like my other one, and dots along the side. So I'm going to do that next. And that takes a few minutes and some patience. And I will be back when I have that finished. Okay, I just finished putting my white dots on. And I used my Posca pen white. Now you can use anything you want. You can use paint. That would be an easy way to do it. Or if you have other pens that will dot white, feel free to use whatever you want to. And then the black I put in with a Sharpie. I used a fine point because that's what I have. But I would suggest you use one of those super fat ones, and it will go a lot faster and easier around your picture. Now I have a piece of pretty paper that I want to use as my background and glue right down within that frame. In fact, I would suggest you might even want to color a little inside these lines and cover up any irregularities you have in putting this down. And what I need to do is to cut this down just a little bit to fit this frame and glue it down. I'm back in the middle of getting my paper ready, I decided I wanted a torn edge all the way around, which means I will definitely have to add some black into my frame where it's uneven. But I thought that would add some interest, and I'm just tearing the edges with my fingers. Let's see what we've got here. Well, I need to tear a little bit more here and black a little bit more here at the top and at the bottom. And I will be back with you as soon as I've done that. Unfortunately, though, this shiny paper doesn't do well with the camera, but we'll do the best we can. I'm going to go ahead and glue it on now and then fill in the black after it's glued on. Now, you'll probably find your paper wrinkling and doing all kinds of crazy things. Just get it as smooth as you can. Work it down, work out any wrinkles you have, because this isn't supposed to be perfect. And I'm going to tear a little more here at the end. Oops, that was really a lot, but that's okay. There we go. And I am going to use a brayer to try to smooth this out a little bit. This is probably one of the hardest parts about it. You've done the hardest part. Now I'm going to take my finger and smooth these as much as I can. Now we'll be putting some things on that help calm this glare down. Now I have another layer of paper for the background that I want to put on here, well, kind of to calm it down. Now I will tear this to match our other torn edges. And that will fit right along here. It's kind of shiny again, isn't it? My camera doesn't love these shiny materials. And I haven't done my edge black yet. And I will trim this. I just ripped these out of some of my paper. I didn't measure anything, and you can probably tell. All right. And that's going to go on this edge. That's going to be glued here. And then I will go in. Well, I'm going to wait because I have other things that go along the edges, and some of that will be covered up. Okay, let's get this all smoothed out. And we have a variegated background to put our focal points on. All right, now I want a piece down there and a piece here. This is a third layer. You notice we're doing this in layers. We had the plain background, and then we had the one that covered it all, this color, and now we have these two pieces. Now we're going to add some edge pieces in. And most of the things on this are going to be torn paperwork. Now, if you want to make this easier on younger children, don't put the edge on. So you can go clear to the edge and just cut off what lays over and then use a washi tape edge on it. That would be much easier if I didn't want to match last year's. And of course, I wanted to do the difficult thing and match last year's. Now for the next layer, I'm going to add some of my focal points. This is my biggest one. Santa telling us to be quiet, don't tell anybody he's here. My next biggest one will go in this corner, right here. Snow, what fun! All right. And we're going to add some snowmen down here. And we'll have our Christmas tree right here. This is beginning our, I think our last layer. Now, let's see. I have Merry Christmas to go across here. Should it go there or there? And it looks better there, doesn't it? Okay. There we go. And let's see, what else do we have? We have some things for here. Merry Christmas. Santa's message. Merry Christmas. And let's see, we have a few more things. Now, of course, you'll have different wrapping paper. And yours will be entirely different. And everyone that makes one, even with the same wrapping paper, they'll have it entirely different. That's what makes it so interesting and fun. All right. And we have a penguin. There he is. All right. We've got just a few more things. We had one set of Barbie paper. And we've got to represent Barbie. I think maybe it's not Barbie. This is a princess. This might be from a Disney movie. I'm an old grandma. I'm not up on my Disney movies, I'm afraid. But we'll put the princess on anyway. She knows who she is, right? I tried to represent most of our different wrapping papers. Wow, just a few more pieces. We have another Santa and a cute bear. I think we'll do that or this. I kind of like that better. And I have 2 or 3 candy canes. I put a candy cane in his hands. There's that candy cane. You might have to experiment what glue you use for all of these so it's not too frustrating for your kiddos if you do these as a family. Now, if you really want to use these as placemats, I suggest you either use a contact paper over it, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a layer of Mod Podge, maybe 2 layers, and that will make it kind of watertight. And I also need to touch up my black spots. So I'm going to do those things, and then I'll come back and show you the finished project. I am now Mod Podging my placemat. It helps stick down the places that my running out glue didn't stick down very well. And it will protect it from food and water. I would suggest, if you're actually going to use them, that you do a couple coats at least of Mod Podge. It will act as a protectant to your pictures. And on the back of your placemat, you might want to sign the year and who made it, because 5-10 years from now, or when you unearth these from a box of Christmas thing from years past, you might not remember exactly who made it, and you would like to know, I'm sure. So when you finish up, be sure all your edges are sealed and all your loose edges are glued down. And it doesn't take Mod Podge too long to dry. And then we'll want to set some heavy books on top of this overnight, and it will flatten it down. So, there is our placemat for Christmas 2025. I plan on maybe doing this next year if everything goes as planned. But we have 2 now we can use. And I hope you've enjoyed this idea and that you will try it with your own family. It's loads of fun. If not a little messy, but kids love the mess, don't you know? So, I will wish you a happy New Year's, and I hope you have a great time crafting. Bye-bye for now.